I want to make this video to just be honest about how I've been feeling lately. And honestly, I hate life. Most of the time, I hate life. Because everything in life is hard. Everything is a struggle. It's a struggle to love other people and find other people to love us. Just making friends, maintaining those friendships and relationships, finding that balance between being close and honest. You don't want to be too honest to where you push somebody away with how you really feel. It's a struggle just to live in peace with other people. It's a struggle to make enough money to survive. It's a struggle just to not die and stay healthy. Every day it's the same thing over and over and over again. Sometimes we overcome one obstacle in our lives, and then we find that just right around the corner there's something even greater, even worse, that we couldn't have even imagined just waiting for us. And it never stops. I'm convinced lately that this life is designed to break us and show us that it is impossible. Nobody really wins at life in the end. And I know that sounds really morbid, and you're probably thinking, well, what makes you say something like that? I think that the way that we leave this world should tell us a lot about life. And, at the end of it, we all lose. Everybody loses. Rich, poor, black, white, doesn't matter what background you come from. Everybody loses everything. Our life, our possessions, the people that meant something to us. Over time, after we're gone, our legacy, whatever it was that we left behind, is just withered away and forgotten. Everything that we spent our time trying to achieve and do is just taken away from us the moment after we breathe our last breath. So then it makes you wonder, what do we really gain with all of our time here on earth, all the work that we do, all of our hopes and dreams? Nobody gains anything in the end of it. So then that makes me feel like, sometimes I feel like being born was the worst decision I've ever made. And then I remember I didn't decide to be born. Nobody did. Nobody chooses to be here. All of us were brought into this world without our consent, against our will. And I think in the same way that the way that we leave this world tells us a lot about how it works, the way that we come into this world should also tell us a lot too. In that, we don't have a choice. And it took somebody else's actions to get us here, to get us this far. Somebody else had to conceive us. Somebody else had to sustain us in the womb. Somebody else had to give birth to us. They had to go through that painful process of bringing us here. And then somebody else had to keep us alive for a pretty good portion of our lives. And so the way we come in and the way that we leave are just two sides of the same coin. We come in helpless and we leave helpless. So lately I've been thinking about the story of Peter walking to Jesus on the water. In the story, Jesus tells his disciples to get in a boat, and a horrible storm hits. Jesus comes walking on the water, and he tells them, don't be afraid. In fact, be courageous, because I am here. And then one of his disciples, Peter, says, Lord, if it's really you, let me walk to you on the water. And so Jesus invites him and he says, come, do it. So Peter steps out of the boat and he starts walking on the water, not doggy paddling, not treading the water, not swimming, walking on the sea during a storm. But the moment he started to take his focus off of Jesus as he was walking to him, and he started to focus on the waves and the lightning and everything, the Bible says he started to sink slowly. And then as he's sinking, he just calls out to Jesus, Lord, save me. And immediately the Bible says Jesus reaches out, catches him, and he says, why did you doubt, you of little faith? I love this story because this is us. This is our only hope. The waves and the storms, the lightning, everything are the impossible challenges and difficulties that we deal with every day in this life. The uncertainties and the dangers. Getting through this life is impossible. Just like walking on water. Just like babies, we are helpless to stand up against life storms. But lately I've been convinced that if we just fix our eyes on Jesus, he will meet us there in the middle of the storm. If we trust him, he will get us through the storms of life in ways that we never expected, that we thought were impossible. And I love this story because, notice Peter doesn't call out to any of his friends in the boat, like, hey, John, send me a life preserver, get out, help me out. He doesn't call out to his friends. He calls out to Jesus. Because the reality is there are some storms in life that even the people that are genuinely close to you and love you, even they can't meet you in those storms. As much as they would want to, some storms, no one else can help us. Peter called out to Jesus because he knew that he was the only one that could save him. And he did. By Jesus' power, we can overcome the impossible. I'm convinced that trusting Jesus is our only hope in this world. He gave his life for us so that we might live. That's just something I've really been thinking about lately, just with everything going on in the world outwardly and then inwardly. As someone that struggles with depression and things like that, Jesus has been my only hope, and he always will be. And I just want to share that with anybody that's going through life storms. Just call out to Jesus. He will save you.